Hey everyone, and welcome back to the 9 Frames podcast. This is episode 51, and it is Friday, November 17th, 2023. I'm Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Catch us as always on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our X is at 9 Frames Pod, and our Spotify is 9 Frames. Like, follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate it as always, and we're going to continue to roll on in awards week.
Yeah, awards week has concluded now. We've got our Cy Youngs, we've got our MVPs. We know who the best of 2023 was. Wasn't very shocking, not going to lie. We'll cover it. Probably be pretty short on that. Just let you guys know who won and why. I think it's pretty clear. Before that, we're going to get into some big MLB news. No bigger news than what came out yesterday. MLB voters unanimously vote to send Oakland to Las Vegas. The Oakland Athletics franchise will be moving to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that it was a unanimous vote. I thought maybe some owners would have a little bit of sympathy toward it, but I guess when you look at it from a business standpoint, it makes sense to get them out of Oakland.
Yeah, it has been really bad publicity this year because it's been making national headlines for people who aren't even interested in baseball. All these sell the team chants that were happening in other teams' stadiums even.
I saw a tweet, I didn't save it, but it was talking about how when the payroll numbers since John Fisher had taken over the A's back in 2005, and I don't think they've been above 24th in the league.
Yeah, that's
since 2005.
That is awful, man.
Yeah, and they've had some competitive teams in that stretch.
And whenever he gets them, he kind of just scatters the talent around the league again. Yep. It's really not good for competition or MLB as a whole, I would say.
I think what they need to do is make that guy sell that team because he clearly doesn't care about baseball. He doesn't care about the fans of the A's. I mean, this is terrible for them. They're losing their franchise that they've had for how long?
And then the quote, he comes out, he's saying that it's harder on him than anyone else, basically, the billionaire who doesn't really seem to care.
Yeah, boo-hoo for the billionaire.
Says it's a very frustrating, a brutal day for Oakland Athletics fans, but it's a great day for the city of Las Vegas.
Of course.
I don't know. It's all very disingenuous, and it's a bad look for the owner.
The really interesting part is I also saw that their lease in Oakland is up after 24 next season. But they're not going to be playing in Las Vegas until 2028. So from 25 through 27, they're going to be bouncing around for home stadiums. I saw they're going to play some games where the Giants home park in San Francisco. They're going to go to their AAA sometimes, and others. I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's a crazy 3-year stretch for them.
It's a franchise in a lot of disarray right now, even in terms of their roster structure. So, I mean, with the actual roster already not being great, and there is no home field advantage anymore, because there is no home field.
We are going to see record numbers in 2024 for how bad the attendance is going to be in Oakland. There's no reason for them to come. They're leaving.
And then not to mention, if they don't find a permanent home, like you said, and they have to play these scattered games, we might be seeing some really bad teams that don't have any kind of stability.
For 4 years.
It's an ugly look for Athletics fans, the Athletics players, coaches, all of the above, man. A rough look for the franchise. We hope they see better days soon.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say if you're an Athletics fan and you're thinking about changing teams, I think this would be a very valid reason to stop supporting the Oakland Athletics.
I don't know if you saw, but Vegas did welcome their new team with the Vegas Sphere, lighting it up in Athletics green.
As they should, with that absolute money pit of a building that makes absolutely no money for them so far.
And I wonder what is going to happen, speaking of buildings, what is going to happen with the historic Oakland Coliseum, the Rickey Henderson Coliseum.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll use it for something else like the Rangers did in their old stadium.
Concerts, maybe.
Yeah, that is a historical building.
Big building, and that place, Oakland, is losing a lot of their culture, man.
Yeah,
their teams. The Raiders.
The Warriors went to San Francisco, the Raiders went to Vegas, and now the A's are going to Vegas.
It used to be a sports town, and it's just not anymore. Heart goes out to Oakland, man. That's rough.
Yeah, definitely sad.
And some brighter news, though. The Milwaukee Brewers will stay in Milwaukee until 2050, and they get renovations approved on their ballpark there.
Yeah, that's the complete opposite side of the coin, and you love to see it if you're a Brewers fan in Milwaukee. I mean, your team is going to be staying there for another 25 years.
Yeah, no, and they should be there. Milwaukee has had a franchise forever now. They were the Milwaukee Braves back in the day, so definitely good to see baseball staying there. Those guys love baseball, the people that live there.
Yeah, I think it would have been weird to get news that the Brewers were also leaving, considering that the A's were definitely leaving, and I mean, there's still speculation of the Rays being moved.
I was gonna say we had one of the last episodes of this podcast of of the regular season, we were talking about how the Brewers were in disarray and didn't know if they were going to be able to get that lease deal done, but they do get it approved, and that's good. That's just good for the game, I think.
Yeah, great stuff for a franchise that has really been pretty solid the past half-decade under Craig Counsell, now under Pat Murphy. I mean, we'll see if the success continues. They still got a good roster. We'll see what they do this offseason, but
it seems like they might be dealing in trade. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, it's just nice to know that they will be staying where they're located, which is cool.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw, it'll be in Milwaukee. Moving on now to a trade that occurred last night, man. White Sox acquire right-hand pitcher Mike Soroka, left-hand pitcher Jared Schuster, right-hand pitcher Riley Goins, infielder Nicky Lopez, and infielder Braden Shoemake from the Braves for just left-hand pitcher Aaron Bummer. What do you think?
I think I understand what the Braves are doing because Bummer is under contract through 2026, and he's not going to be an expensive arm, and he's left-handed, and he has proven in the past that he's been good. He, much like everybody else on the White Sox this year, did not have a good year besides like the Luis Roberts. And, I mean, there really wasn't many more besides him. I mean, I don't know if they had to give up that much, though.
No, this is a trade. I was going to say, above all else, I really like it for the White Sox, man.
Yeah.
When you're a rebuilding franchise like that, you get a young arm in Soroka, and, I mean, there are a lot of pieces that could help them out in years to come.
I mean, we remember how hot Nicky Lopez was when he came over to the Braves, so maybe if he gets some playing time in Chicago, he could find that spark and keep it going.
Yeah, the quick flip of Nicky Lopez, he is becoming a journeyman in this league.
Man, nice haul for the White Sox, obviously, who are, you'd assume, going into a rebuilding stage. And then I guess it's good for the Braves. They know what... I mean, they're the Braves. They know what they're doing.
They wanted the lefty. They got their lefty. We'll see how they use Aaron Bummer, what role he plays for that team next year. Should be fun.
Soroka could turn into a nice rotational piece for the White Sox if he can stay healthy. I mean, I don't know if you remember how good he was when before he ruptured that Achilles, man. He was good.
And there's a lot of talent on the Braves, so it's hard to find your groove and find your spot there. But in Chicago, man, he could be the man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. It should be fun to watch. That's what I'm going to keep my eye on. The closest from that trade is Mike Soroka to see what kind of season he has with the White Sox next year.
Yeah, it's nice to replenish a little bit of near MLB talent depth, and then also potentially get a mid to high end of the rotation starter. It's a good get for the White Sox, and I guess the Braves are content with what they got as well.
Moving it on over to free agent news, more Yamamoto news. We were saying it on the last episode. It seemed like a lot of Eastern Seaboard teams were the ones talking about him. Now the Dodgers reveal themselves as among the most interested teams. Scary.
I am going to just call it out here. I don't buy it. I mean, I buy they're interested, but I think they're putting themselves in the most interested in quotes because they're trying to drive that price up. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're the Dodgers.
I still see
They'd love to have him.
I see Yamamoto landing east anyway.
I do too.
It seems like a match made in heaven right there. It seems like one of the New York teams, but the Dodgers throwing their name in the hat, like you said, probably drives that price up.
It would be shocking, in my opinion, to not hear that the Dodgers were in on a Japanese superstar. The
Japanese pitchers, they do end up loving coming over and playing on the West Coast. It is closer to Japan, so we'll see if teams like Seattle, San Francisco, San Diego probably won't have the money. Then
Chicago, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago was in on it because they're very aggressive right now. Yeah, I said Giants.
Did you say Seattle?
Yeah,
Seattle could be in.
Seattle, San Francisco, the Dodgers.
There are options for him. I mean, the Rangers are talking about maybe making a run at Ohtani. If they've got that money, they could go for him too.
Yeah, that posting date is quickly approaching, and Yamamoto's free agency should be one of the most fun stories to watch and cover this offseason.
Like I said, I'm very curious to see what kind of contract he gets over here, man. It's going to be interesting.
Agreed. Moving on over to, honestly, we just talked about the Giants. This is just interest coming from their camp. The Giants are currently in on free agents Cody Bellinger, Matt Chapman, and Blake Snell right now.
I think the Giants are disappointed with how the end of the season went, and I genuinely do believe they're going to have a good offseason.
Yeah, very close at the end there to sneaking in to that last playoff spot, but just couldn't do so.
Yeah, kind of crapped out at the end there, but I mean, they were pretty decent all throughout the summer, and then they hit a wall. I mean, if they put some pieces together and add, I mean, they still got Webb, who finished second in Cy Young.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
if they can add a Snell to that rotation, could be some.
They
really
could have
good
1 and
pitching.
2. I mean, we'll get to who won, but there's your spoiler. It was Blake Snell. I mean, no one's surprised.
Right.
Yeah, the Giants could have a nice offseason and be right in the thick of things next year.
Yeah, those are all award winners there that they're in on now.
Yep.
Now that we are done with award week,
Of some sort.
they're all bringing home hardware. So Giants and on the big names. Trade talks, these ones are very uncertain, so I just wanted to throw these in here. Milwaukee is in preliminary talks with I think I saw 3 or 4 teams with Brandon Woodruff, who's a great arm, man. A lot of teams could use this guy.
Yeah.
Don't like when these reports come out and you don't have any idea who the teams are, but you can have a decent idea. It's probably these teams that we keep hearing in the names with all these young pitchers.
Woodruff is also interesting because he's hurt. He's going to miss most of the 24 season,
Yep.
but the thing that's attached to him is that he'll be eligible for a qualifying offer in 25, which he definitely might take because he's missing all of 24, and qualifying offer is almost up to, what, $21 million?
Yeah, he might take that.
take
Why
20,
not?
So there you go. You got another year of him at $21 million, and then he has free agency. I mean, somebody might see it as a risk willing to take.
Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee supposedly willing to trade like everyone on their roster. Brandon Woodruff clearly in the mix right now. Another big name who's in the mix is Cincinnati Reds second baseman Jonathan India. I think a handful of teams are asking about
3 to
him.
4, yeah.
Not sure what teams those are, excuse me, but yeah, I mean, another one where it's just there's so many teams that could use this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great top of the order bat. I really don't know why the Reds would do that. I don't know why they're insistent. I mean, we heard his name pop up around the deadline a little bit,
Yeah,
and it was
a couple times throughout the season.
It was a head scratcher. I
weird.
mean, I don't understand why they would do it then. I don't know why they would do it now. He's got control. He really is a good player.
Well, maybe that's why, because with everything you just named, being such a solid player and having control, he could really bring in a haul, considering he's an all-star caliber second baseman, which is right now a weak position in the league. He could be a big help to a lot of teams.
It's also that trade with the Braves and White Sox was big because that's a market setter for a trade. I mean, that's the first trade that happened this offseason. They gave up 5 players for 1 reliever. I mean, what's going to take to get Jonathan India?
5 players for a relief pitcher without that control. Yeah, that is very true.
Well, no, he does have that control. He's 326.
Oh, no, never mind.
That's why they did
never
it.
mind. That's a huge one,
But
too.
that's what I'm saying. So if he has control through 25, Jonathan India, I mean, what are you going to give up for Jonathan India?
It should be more.
It's going to be more.
Yeah. And our last little point of the intro, I just saw this morning. You actually showed me. The Diamondbacks, your NL champions, tweak their jerseys ever so slightly again, man. They move on over to the Diamondbacks A on the jersey instead of it saying D-backs on their home jersey. I like it. It looks clean.
Yeah, I like them too. I just think it's kind of funny how this team just really struggles to find their true identity. They keep shifting just a little bit. They have their color scheme set. They like the teal, red, black, and the tan they seem to incorporate. It looks like their home uniforms are a little more tan
Like
than
creamish,
white.
yeah. Ever since they, like you said, added in that teal and that dark red with that was the first year they had the charcoal jerseys with the dots on it.
Those were gone quickly.
Took them away right away. It was like a 1 year, 2 year jersey. That's what they've been doing here. I don't know why they use the same colors, the same fonts, and they change them around ever so slightly every 1 or 2 years.
They like the colors. They just get sick of the designs.
Probably selling a ton of merch.
And I was going to say they also probably make, especially being the NL champs, they're going to make a lot of money on
NL
these
champs,
jerseys.
and you got a young Corbin Carroll. That jersey is going to be selling like hotcakes, man.
Marte, Walker,
And not for nothing,
Moreno.
yeah, like you said, with them being NL champions, it's not just selling to Diamondbacks fans.
Gallen.
There's going to be a lot of people buying those jerseys.
the list could go on. I kind of want one of them. I mean,
Yeah, one of those.
I like their
the
players.
black one with the teal outline on the Diamondbacks A. That thing is
a Carroll?
sweet.
That'd be fire.
Definitely sweet. Diamondbacks get their new jerseys. That is your news around the horn. Taking you back to Wednesday night now, and we are awarding our Cy Young winners, the best pitchers from the National League and the American League for 2023.
Yeah, we talked about it. We pretty much said that the next 4 awards that we talked about, that we're going to be talking about, were pretty clear cut, and the voting turned out just that way. Blake Snell is your winner this year in the National League. becoming just the 7th player ever to win a Cy Young in both the AL and the NL, man. He got 28 first-place votes, and the only 2 that he didn't get in first, he got second.
Yeah, not even close here. Blake Snell is your 2023 NL Cy Young winner in a pretty much clean sweep, as you said. Logan Webb clearly takes second place there.
Yeah, he takes it by 18 points. He got a majority of the second-place votes with 17 of the 30, man. That's pretty surprising. I thought Gallen might be a little higher than him, but...
Hey, man, on the last episode, I said I was surprised that Strider wasn't there, and he only finished 4 points behind Zach Gallen, so that was definitely justified. Justin Steele was not even close, though, with 32 points behind.
Yeah, and I was saying I thought Senga should be in there, and he wasn't even close either. He had 15 points. He got some third and fourth place votes. But yeah, I mean,
had a clear top 4 here and an even clearer top 2. A clear winner is always nice in these, and this is clearly Blake Snell's award.
And what can you say about Logan Webb, man? I mean, we were talking about how good he was when we were talking about the Giants down the stretch, and clearly the voters saw it that way too. He finishes in second. That's a really, really good season, man.
So impressive, man. He is just he is that solid arm that you keep throwing out there, and he will be a winning force for you. I just hope that, I guess him being in this argument, this discussion, this debate, whatever you want to call it, it kind of proves that he is giving his flowers, and he should be.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what I was just saying about the Giants and their offseason. If they have a good offseason, they've got that guy right at the top of their rotation to start next year. He's going to be on the bump opening day. So
for the robust pitching market that we currently got.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I mean, not for nothing, we mentioned him. We mentioned them with another pitcher there, but they can go for Sonny Gray, who's also available. Aaron Nola's also available. Lucas Giolito.
If the Giants get one of Snell / Gray and another lower level to pair with Webb, you could piece the 4 and 5 together, man, and they could be a dangerous squad.
They could be one of those teams in talks for Woodruff.
Yeah, definitely. They absolutely could be.
Giants are looking for pitching.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were one of the ones in on India as well.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you hear that somebody's trying to trade for a young pitcher, it's probably the Giants these days. So.
I think the Giants are going to be on a lot of free agents and trade targets this offseason.
But for now, congratulations to Blake Snell, who wins his second Cy Young Award with the Padres. He also won in the American League with the Tampa Bay Rays, making him a 2-time Cy Young Award. Congratulations.
Yeah, pretty crazy, man. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of contract Snell gets, too, because his history has been you get 2 years of 120 innings, and then you get a third year of 180 and a Cy Young. So the teams are going to want a little more consistency for the money that he's going to be requesting, but how do you tell a 2-time Cy Young Award winner no? You know?
Who knows what threads Blake Snell will be wearing next year. Should be super interesting to see.
And how much his wallet is going to be obtaining from that contract. Man.
Moving on over to the American League now, and this one could not be more straightforward, folks. It is a unanimous win. This was a 3-man race from the start, but it goes clear and away to the Yankees' Garrett Cole. He is your 2023 AL Cy Young.
Yeah, we both saw this one coming more than anything. I mean, he was the best pitcher in the game this year.
Yeah, actually really cool for him to get unanimous because he fully deserves it. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Nice to see him get that.
I saw people on Twitter saying that he didn't deserve it. I mean, like the award in general.
Nah, at that point you gotta be hating because he's a Yankee, or maybe you just don't like Garrett Cole. So be it, but you can't take this away from him. He is the Cy Young. I mean, he's the best pitcher this year.
You look at the numbers, man. He was definitely the best pitcher in the league this year. He had 15 wins. He had a 2.63 ERA. I mean, he was a sub-1 WHIP. 200 plus strikeouts, 200 plus, and he's everything you could ask for in an ace. And for the 4th place Yankees, I mean, he was one of the lone bright spots this year, and clearly he's being rewarded for his fantastic season with his first Cy Young of his career.
Yeah, and tip of the cap to Sonny Gray, who is the clear second-place winner, getting 20 second-place votes. He has had a rough couple of years leading up to this, so it is nice to see him bounce back in such a way. We've been saying it all year. Tip of the cap to him. And then for 3rd place, we have Kevin Gausman, which I don't know if you saw his tweet yesterday. He was talking about how he was previously DFA'd, and he's made the trek back to be a Cy Young finalist.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive stuff. I remember Kevin Gausman back in the Orioles days, man. It was like, oh my God, Gausman's starting again? But now it's like, wow, Gausman's starting again? The Blue Jays are going to have their best chance to win, probably.
Absolute strikeout machine. He was phenomenal for the Blue Jays this year. And if it wasn't for a late skid in ERA, this would have been a much closer conversation.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Sonny Gray, too, to finish in second place, and especially in a contract year, man.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes as well. You mentioned the Giants. I
wouldn't
can see
be
that.
super shocked if it's back with Minnesota because they are going to need their pitching to get back to
and he was comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
He looked really comfortable in Minnesota when he pitched there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he goes as well. But to round out the top six, the top 7. It was Bradish in 4th, Castillo in 5th, Eflin in 6th, and Pablo Lopez, Sonny Gray's teammate, in 7th.
Yeah, just wanted to say it was also really cool to see Felix Bautista got some votes, some 4th and 5th place votes here.
And that's with him being injured. I mean, we were talking about if he was staying healthy at the time, back when we were talking about it, he was in the conversation for winning the award when he went down, and he still got some 4th and 5th place votes, so that just goes to tell you how good he was this year.
Yep, but folks, your 2023 Cy Young Award winners, the NL will be Blake Snell with the San Diego Padres, and the AL will be Garrett Cole with the New York Yankees. Round of applause.
Yep. Snell wins in dominant fashion, and Cole wins in unanimous fashion. And finally, we're going to make it to Thursday with the final award being presented. It's the MVP, and the candidates for the American League, because we're going to start there, it was Shohei Ohtani, Corey Seager, and Marcus Semien, both from the Rangers.
No bigger honor in the game than winning a Most Valuable Player award. I mean, it says it in the name. You are the most valuable player to your team that given season. It is what every player strives for.
Yeah, and the voting on this one was a little bit surprising, but also not surprising. Shohei Ohtani wins in unanimous fashion for the second time in his career, becoming the only player to ever do that, by the way. And what is he? He's not even 30 years old yet. I mean, the guy is ridiculous. We've never seen a talent like him.
A lot of history last night in general, but Ohtani, of course, makes the first bit of history there, being the first 2-time unanimous MVP.
Yeah, Corey Seager is going to finish in second place with 24 of the second place votes. I was surprised Corey Seager didn't get a single first place vote, but at the same time,
I thought he would have got at least one too.
But at the same time, man, when you think about it, like maybe it's because Ohtani missed a month or so and we just forgot. He still had 44 home runs.
Also, a very underrated part of Shohei Ohtani is he's really one of those guys that has no haters.
Yeah, I mean, what's there to dislike about the guy? He's not flashy. He doesn't really try to show anybody up. He goes out there, he goes about his business, and he's just the best.
I never really thought of it till just now, but we talk a lot of baseball with a lot of different people. You never hear people saying negative things about Shohei Ohtani.
There's just no reason to. I mean, the guy's he's a prototypical franchise player. He's the guy that you want leading your team. I mean, he does both. He pitches and hits, and he does them both well. And he's rewarded with his second unanimous MVP, so congratulations to Ohtani.
Type of guy whose numbers are just fun to break down. He had a .304 average this year, an MLB leading 1066 OPS, AL leading 44 bombs, and 95 RBI with 102 runs scored.
Yeah, so congratulations to him. And rounding out the top 5 after Marcus Semien, who finished in third, was Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners, who was pretty close to Semien, honestly, for third, only 20-something votes behind him, voting points. And then Kyle Tucker finishes in fifth after another phenomenal season, 100-plus RBI.
Shout out to the kids, man. I don't know if you're seeing it, but Bobby Witt Jr., Gunnar Henderson, and Adley Rutschman getting some votes. Tip of the cap to them.
Yeah, and Garrett Cole even sneaking in some MVP votes, too. I mean, with how good he was on the mound, you haven't really seen a pitcher in that conversation since what? I mean, besides Ohtani, it doesn't count.
Since Kershaw, right?
Yeah, since Kershaw, like a pure only starting pitcher, it's been Kershaw in 2014. So yeah, to see Garrett Cole get some votes is pretty crazy.
Always fun to see an MVP pitcher, and Garrett Cole certainly had the type of year where he gets the nod for some third and fourth place votes there.
And then moving on over to the NL with the final award to be presented, We all knew what was going to happen here when he had the 40-70 season to make MLB history. And even more so, he is also unanimous. Ronald Acuna Jr. becomes he gets his first MVP award of his career after a horrific knee injury just a couple years ago. He bounces back to have a 40-70 season, and he makes some history with Ohtani as they become the first pair of MVPs to both win the award unanimous in the same year.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to earlier. Just really dominant years for both of them. I want to say Acuna's numbers look like video game numbers, but really, you can't put this up in video games. You can't get 75 steals in video games.
330 with 41 and 75, man. That's
absolutely
crazy.
Ridiculous.
And, I mean, he's a leadoff hitter that had, 100 RBI?
Yeah.
Close to it?
He had 106.
So there you go. I mean, he went over 100 RBI as a leadoff hitter. He definitely had 100-plus runs. I think we said he had 140 runs or something like that.
He led the league. He led the MLB with 149 runs scored. He had a 10-12 OPS, and that's with 73 stolen bases and 35 doubles, an 8.2 WAR. I mean, if you're not giving him your first place vote, you're a clown.
I think this race was a little bit closer in, the beginning of September, end of August, and Acuna just put his foot on the gas and completely claimed the award. I mean, I can't get over how insane a 40-70 season is. We've never even seen a 40-50, and my guy had 20 extra steals.
The case with both the AL and the NL Cy Young Awards this year, where the players who won it just simply did too much for it not to be unanimous. I am interested... I would have been interested, to see a hypothetical MVP matchup between Ohtani and Acuna. Who would they have given the votes to then?
That, if they were in the same league?
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
That
would have been a tough vote, yeah, for sure. I think maybe they might have actually still given it to Acuna.
I would have.
I think Acuna was the best position player in baseball.
Especially because there were a couple of spurts of Ohtani missing time this season, which Acuna, after coming back from such a bad leg injury...
And he really didn't look that great last year.
Early on in the year, this year, everyone was like, yeah, they're rushing him back. Watch how bad of a year he has. And he legitimately might have had the best offensive season possible.
Yeah, he had one of the greatest offensive seasons of all time. Mookie Betts is going to finish in second place with all 30 second-place votes, so he's your unanimous second-place winner. I don't know if I've ever seen that, yeah.
I think it's completely unheard of. I've, never seen it.
Freddie Freeman finishes in third. I'm surprised he didn't get a second-place vote here or there. I mean, he almost had 60 doubles, hit 330. He had a great year.
Yeah, if I had votes here, Acuna would get my first and Betts would get my second, so I understand it. But you were saying before off camera, it's surprising that nobody thought differently with him having 59 doubles.
Yeah, absolutely wild. Matt Olson finishes fourth, and not by much. He only finishes 4 points behind Freddie Freeman for third, so he was almost top 3.
Poor Matt Olson, man, leading in a lot of the major offensive stats and not being a finalist. Disgusting.
Yeah, it's wild. And then to round out your top 5, Diamondbacks Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll comes in 5th in the MVP in his rookie year, man. That is crazy.
I was about to say, I'm talking about shouting out the young kids who were getting, 8th place votes or ended up in 8th place in the AL. No, this kid's in 5th in the NL, and that's above Juan Soto, who played 162 games this year.
He got the most 4th place votes out of anybody with 20.
One by far. No, he's 60 above the next person. So he's the clear and away 5th place winner. I guess there really was never a conversation between him and Senga, huh?
No, I don't think there was.
That we see how the voters voted.
Rookie of the Year and MVP is a different award, but
if they thought he was 5th and most valuable, I don't think you're going to take any votes.
I don't think it was close. It wasn't close. Didn't he won it unanimous, so it wasn't close anyway.
No.
Corbin Carroll had a crazy year. We talked about it, 25 and 54. So, yeah, that's your top 5, and history has been made. Ronald Acuna and Shohei Ohtani both win their unanimous MVPs, the second of his career for Ohtani and the first for Ronald Acuna. Congratulations, fellas.
Congratulations to the most valuable players of 2023.
And that will wrap up awards week in the MLB. The only thing we have left to deliver is when the all-MLB teams are announced in December, but until then... that'll do it.
Yeah, it is time for the offseason, time to really dive in to the hot stove, to the trades, and I was going to say managerial hires, but I guess every team's got that covered.
Yeah,
so
basically.
Should be a fun and raucous offseason. Stick with us, folks. Thank you to everybody for watching and listening, as always, wherever you do. That was the 9 Frames Podcast, episode 51, and it is Friday, November 17th, 2023. I've been Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
You can catch us on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast, our X is at 9 Frames Pod, and our Spotify is 9 Frames.
We like I said in the beginning, we appreciate all the constant support. We notice it, continue to keep it up. And now we're going to head on into a very, very exciting offseason, I think.
Should be fun. We've got some of the most interesting stories possible. Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes is opening soon. Should be fun to talk about.
Oh, it's open. He can sign wherever the hell he wants.
Very true. We hope to hear from you guys in the comments. Tell us what you think. Honestly, tell us what you think about the new Diamondbacks jerseys as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what other people think about them. I don't hate them. I just think it's funny that they keep switching it.
Let us know if you agreed and disagreed with the Cy Young and the MVPs. I think we all agree, though.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree.
But regardless, give us your opinions and your thoughts below. Share this with your friends. Like and subscribe. And put on the bell notification to let you know when we go live.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend, everyone.